Hey guys, Brian the Shaving Geek here with another episode of my shave of the day. Getting ready to go to my aunt and uncle's house today to watch the Reds and the Mets play. My uncle is a Mets fan, I'm a Reds fan, and so looking forward to this battle between our two teams. But before I headed out today, I did grab a shower and a shave. I'd been out working in the lawn this morning into this afternoon, and so I definitely wanted to clean up, be presentable, so had a great shave. Opportunity to use some more new products that my brother has lent to me, and so excited to share that with you and describe. I guess I give my I hate to call it a review, give my opinion on these products. So today I used this brush, which is an EverReady C40 that my brother has knotted with a Anthony MacKenzie synthetic knot. This is his Miami Lights knot. Now, you may recall that yesterday I used this brush with the Miami Sunrise knot, and you can see that the coloration on them is definitely a little bit different. This is a little more yellow, this is a little bit more orange, and definitely this is I think a denser knot than this one. There were some things about this one that I liked better than this, and there were some things about this that I liked better than this. This definitely had no scritch whatsoever. This felt very much along the same lines as my Nathan Clark Ubersoft as well as my Plaisant. No scritch whatsoever. So I definitely liked that better than I liked the Miami Sunrise knot. But the Miami Sunrise knot being a little bit of a denser knot, and it may just be that this I think may be like a 24 millimeter and this may be an 18, I'm not even sure. But this definitely had a little bit more backbone. This was a little bit floppier. Was it as floppy as my Plaisant? No. But I don't think it had quite as much backbone as my Nathan Clark. But I could be wrong, and I definitely do want, and I'll hold them up side by side. This is the Nathan Clark, and this is the Miami Nights. And so I definitely want to try these out side by side and kind of get a feel for them. But that's going to be a video and a discussion for another day. Overall, though, I really enjoyed using this knot. It loaded the soap very easily. It lathered the soap very easily, and it just had a great feel on the face. My brother again did this restore, and I think he did a wonderful job. It's just an absolutely beautiful brush to me. I absolutely love the look of these vintage handles. And I think on this one here, he said this was the one, I believe this is the one he said was hollow, and he actually filled it with glue to give it some heft. I think he's got a little more heft than mine. Mine is an EverReady 150. Between the two, I would be hard-pressed. I guess this one does have a little bit of a ridge around it where mine doesn't. But beyond that, I mean, they look very similar. I mean, even the dimensions are about the same. So not really quite sure why they called the one the C40 and the other one the 150. But anyhow, this is the C40, and it has that Anthony MacKenzie Miami Lights synthetic knot. Now, since I've started doing I hate to call them reviews, giving my opinions on these brushes, Anthony has opened up an Etsy store. So you can find him at a Mac 4 Shaving, I believe, on Etsy, but just type in Miami shaving knots or something along those lines, and I'm sure you'll find him. But very impressed with this. Looking forward to kind of trying that out side by side with my Nathan Clark Ubersoft and coming up with a winner, or maybe they'll tie, or we'll see. Looking forward to it. For my razor today, I got out my grandfather's Gillette Milord. Now, I got this out for several reasons. First of all, with me using a new soap and a new brush, I always like to use a razor that I know is a sure thing for me. And this is one of those razors. This is a razor that I consistently get a great shave with. It's a fairly mild razor, but it just performs very well for me, and it usually just feels great on my face. I also wanted to use it because over the last week, I've been working on a project here at the house, putting in a little bit of a patio fire pit area. And as part of that, the fire pit is actually a stove that was in my grandparents' home, and they took it out, I think, 25 or 30 years ago, put it in the garage, definitely of the generation that never threw anything away. And it's a stove that I like the look of it. It's got great bones, shall we say, and I think it makes a very, very good fire pit. And so I've been doing that. As along with that, I've kind of used some other items from my grandfather's house as decorative pieces on the patio. I took an old galvanized chicken feeder and I've turned it into a flower planter. I've taken his old hand cultivator, and we're using that kind of as a decorative item. So I've been thinking a lot about my grandfather, over the last week as I've been working on that. And then this morning I had the opportunity to get together with a friend of mine whose father recently passed, and so he and I were kind of sharing stories, and both his father and my grandfather were farmers. They were about the same age, definitely the same generation. And so he and I were just kind of swapping stories and reminiscing together. And so to me, it just was very fitting to continue that with this particular razor. And so, the fact that this is a great performer is a plus, but the fact that it's an heirloom piece is just very, very meaningful to me. And I'm just so honored to have this in my den. And it's just a great way for me to remember my grandfather, reflect on what a great guy he was, and have a great shave. And so I did that today. For my soap, I used the soap this was actually the first artisan that I ever tried when I first got into traditional wet shaving. And that's Mike's Natural Soaps. Now, when I first got into traditional wet shaving for I think the first 3 months, I used nothing but Taub's Sandalwood Cream exclusively. And that was a great thing for me. It helped me develop my technique. And that's something that I recommend to newbies all the time. When you first get into the hobby, stick with a razor, a soap, maybe play around with the blades, but really work on getting that technique down before you dive into all of the wonderful products that are out there. But once I discovered artisans, Mike's was one of the first ones that I tried, and I ordered, I can't remember, it might have been 10 or 12 of his sample size soaps. And I got them in, and I just had a very, very difficult time getting a good lather from his soaps. I think part of it is that his sample sizes are kind of a little bit of an odd. They're about the size of maybe a credit card. And trying to load those, I just had a little bit of a difficulty with that. I think being new to wet shaving and not really understanding how water quality plays, a factor into how a soap performs, I quickly just discounted Mike's soaps, and I just said, I don't understand why people, rate this so highly, and I can't get a good lather out of it, and eventually I just traded off or gave away all of my samples. Now the odd thing was, or I guess the plus side with Mike's Natural Soaps is that out of all of those samples that I ordered, I don't remember a scent that I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed every one of those scents, which is kind of odd for me because generally speaking, I've just found with certain vendors or with all of the artisans that I've tried, I like some of their stuff and some of their stuff I don't from a scent perspective, which it makes sense. You're not going to like everything. That's fine. But with Mike's, everything that I tried, and that's something that I tried his entire lineup because I hadn't tried this particular scent that I used today. But all of the scents that I tried were very robust. They were wonderful scents, and I enjoyed it from that perspective. But the performance just wasn't there for me at that particular time. So now I have the opportunity to try Mike's as it was intended to be used in a nice big tin. And now I have an understanding, being 2.5 years into this hobby, I have an understanding of how water quality plays a role, brushes, all of those kinds of things in creating a lather. So today was the day when I got to try Mike's. And today I understand the hype. I get why Mike's has such a devoted following. It lathered very easily for me. The brush loaded lathered easily. It just had a great performance, a great feel to my face, good post-shave feel, left me feeling hydrated, and it just all around, it was a great performing soap. The scent on this happens to be the Barbershop scent. And for a lot of people, this is the measuring stick for barbershop scents. A lot of people, when they think barbershop, especially people that are very much into the barbershop scent scene, what I read on the forums and the groups is people measure barbershop scents by Mike's. So I was very interested to see what Mike's Barbershop was all about. And it's a woo scent for me. It's definitely a sweeter barbershop, along the lines of the Kraken and what's the one here from Maggard? Where is it? Somewhere in here, London Barbershop. Definitely along the lines of that. Is it my favorite barbershop? No. I like it. I like it a lot. But I found it to be a little bit light. And I definitely prefer, I think London Barbershop is a stronger barbershop scent. And I really enjoy the robust scent. So is this a nice barbershop scent? Absolutely. Do I like it? Absolutely. I just wish it was a little bit stronger. And that just happens to be a complaint of mine with many soaps. But the performance is there. The scent is very good. And is this something that I would like to have in my den? Absolutely. I'm going to be looking to acquiring some Mike's soaps in the not too distant future. But very glad to have had the opportunity to try this today. For my aftershave, I wrapped up with Pinaud Clubman, which is just an absolute classic. It's been a while since I've gotten this out. Whew. Oh my goodness, that's good stuff. And now, does it necessarily pair the best with Mike's? No. To me, this is a bit of a heavier scent. That's a little bit of a sweeter scent. Probably Fine would have been a better pairing. But I just wanted to use Pinaud Clubman because it had been so long. So that's what I did, and I enjoyed it. So that was my shave today. Enjoyed it. 3 passes. I got a little bit of a nick right here, but overall, not quite BBS, but close. You know, I don't chase it. I want a good shave. I had a good shave today. And so looking forward to a great baseball game. Go Reds. This is Brian the Shaving Geek reporting live from my shave den, wishing you a lifetime of happy shaves. Have a great day, everybody.